and then there was 1. By the way, JR, congrats if you're basically watching this video after your entry. So far you got the highest score. So, hooray for that. There's going to be no random generator for this one because there's only 1 entry, so Brain a Bull, have you got any Cinderellas to show us? I don't recognize anything right off the bat, so... Oh, Piss and Vinegar. Yes, I do. Piss and Vinegar is definitely a Cinderella entry. I'll see if he has anything else here in a moment. So this is his entry, a forest. That'll be like what we're basically covering in a moment. Look like it's a browser-based one. There's also a downloadable one as well, so that's cool. But it's already loaded this here, so I guess we'll use this anyways. Let's just see here. If the downloads are basically for Windows. So it's got a bug apparently. Something tells me it's still going to be browser based, so I'm probably not missing much. Yeah, it's just going to load up a thing in here, so don't worry about the download at all. We'll just go with the best copy we've got so far. So that's this entry right here. A little bit slow there, but whatever. Alright, so here's Quartz. That was the 70-year-old challenge in 2025. Piss and Vinegar was definitely his, one for 2024, so we'll see with that. I'm not seeing, oh, there we go. 70-year-old for 2019. So he's got at least a few of them under his belt. Alright, so first things first, is there anyone associated with Brain a Bull here? No, it's just him. So single dev basically doing his thing here. A Forest. A traditional like interactive fiction walking simulator for Roguetemple's Fortnight jam. This is pushing against the boundaries of what makes a traditional roguelike, but I really didn't feel like making another game about stabbing goblins in dungeons and want to make something non-violent. Alright. Note, if the game keeps scrolling the itch.io window, click the full screen button at the bottom right of the game. While there's no death in the game, it stays true to the primitive ethos of traditional roguelikes by letting the player lock themselves out of certain outcomes by making the wrong decisions. This game was made in the last 4 days of jam, running on a JavaScript engine I made for Piss and Vinegar, with most moving parts replaced. Even though this is a non-violent game, there's a bit of something like combat included to stay true to the rogue legacy. You'll have to go out of your way to find it though. Okay, the font is right there. There's like the credits and stuff, color scheme, all mistakes, code. So a gentle breeze flows through this clearing. Somewhere a bird sings. Alright, so the forest looks very inviting today. Romantic adolescent, you. It does. So let's go, or hesitate. Excited preschooler, you. Ah, come on. Well, alright. You get up and head into the forest. To the north, you hear a quiet rustle. To the west, you hear rushing water. To the south, you see an opening between the trees. To the east, you don't see anything in particular. So you go east, which has nothing in particular. North, you hear a quiet rustle. It might be an enemy of some sort, perhaps. Or an animal like a deer or something. South, you see an opening between the trees. Let's go north. Alright, so yeah, look at that, there's a deer. You carefully make your way through a particularly dense part of the forest. When you break through the tree line into a clearing, you find yourself eye to eye with a large deer. It looks at you for a long moment, its ears flicking back and forth to discourage the insects circling its face. Romantic adolescent, you. Should have brought a camera. Prato adult, you. Shh, don't worry about that, just admire it and remember. So stay. For a long moment, you're both standing in a clearing, looking at each other. Then suddenly the deer snorts, shakes its head, and steps back into the forest on the other side of the clearing. Gain item. A remarkable encounter. Okay. To the north, you see an impressive tree. In the west, you spot some kind of building. To the south, you hear a deep rumbling sound. To the east, you see an opening between the trees. So maybe I'll go to this building right here. Yep. Now I have to wonder if this map is procedure generated or not, but I'll have to check that in a moment. In the middle of the forest, you encounter an old ruin. Excited preschooler you. Ooh, was it a castle? Did knights live here, princesses? Practical out you. From what we can see, it was probably just a shelter for shepherds, lumberjacks, or whoever worked in the woods. Romantic adolescent you. Well, maybe a knight stayed here once, right? Practical out you. It's possible, of course. To the north, you see an impressive tree. In the west, you notice a large tree. To the south, you hear a deep rumbling sound. To the east, you see an impressive tree. Let's try going back east. After a short walk, you come across an impressive tree. Excited preschooler you. Can we climb it? Practical out you. It looks sturdy enough. Nice, strong branches. Climb it. You carefully make your way up the tree. The climb is easy, the branches forming a natural ladder. Romantic adolescent you. Now that's a view. Excited preschooler you. Wow. Gain item. Awe-inspiring vista. You bask in the view for a moment before climbing back down and continuing on your way. Rebel punk teen you. That was pretty cool. In the west, you notice a large tree. To the south, you hear a deep rumbling sound. To the east, you see an opening between the trees. Let's go south. Yeah, notice that basically, it's giving us options to go different places, but we're definitely not going back to the same place we came, I guess. You follow the sounds until you come to an impressive waterfall, cascading down the rocks. Excited preschooler you. Wow. Romantic adolescent you. In games, there's always treasure behind a waterfall. Cynical young adult you. Oh no. Oh yes. You carefully make your way behind a waterfall, droplets splashing over your feet. You don't find any treasure, but there's a pretty pebble in the ground. Practical out you. Quartz probably. Gain item. A cool stone. I wonder if that's basically a reference to his past son real. Alright, to the north you see an impressive tree. In the west you see gray stones. To the south you hear rushing water. To the east you see sunshine through the foliage. Let's go east. We go past our campfire. Hidden behind the trees, you come upon a secluded meadow. Rest a moment, pick some berries, move on. Let's pick some berries. You walk around the edge of the clearing, gathering wild strawberries. Gain item, a handful of wild strawberries. To the north, you smell fresh grass. In the west, you hear rushing water. To the south, you see sunshine reflecting on water. To the east, you see gray stones. Let's go east. Another ruin, bigger this time, with the remnants of what could have been a collapsed tower. Nature has started to reclaim it, most of the stones covered in brambles. Excited preschooler you. Did this one have princesses? Rebel punk teen you? Probably yeah, at least 2, maybe 3. Romantic adolescent you? Yeah, at least. Excited preschooler you? I knew it. Let's pick some blackberries. You barely manage to avoid the thorns as you pick some blackberries. They're delicious. You save one for later. The sweet taste of blackberries. To the north, you hear a quiet rustle. In the west, you hear a gentle murmur. To the south, you notice a large tree. To the east, you hear a quiet rustle. Let's go see what a gentle murmur is all about. A small, clear stream of water runs through the forest. Take a sip, splash some water in your face, move on. Splash some water in my face. You kneel down and splash a handful of water in your face. Cold, refreshing. Let's go for refreshing. The cold, clear water seems to wash away all exhaustion. Gain iron renewed energy. By the way, I didn't drink that because, I have no idea if it's polluted or not or anything, so whatever. To the north, you don't see anything in particular. In the west, you notice movement. To the south, you hear a quiet rustle. To the east, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. Let's see what the movement's all about. You come across a trail through the undergrowth. Someone or something has walked here recently. Hopeful preteen you. Let's follow it. Cynical young adult you. Sure, it probably won't be a hungry grue waiting to pounce on us and eat our eyeballs. Let's follow the trail. You follow the trail for a while until it ends on the edge of a small pool. On the other side of the water, a magnificent deer stands staring at you. Romantic adolescent you. Is this the same deer as before? Practical adult you, probably not. You know, I think it is. Hopeful preteen you. Yeah. You stand across the pool, looking at the deer as it calmly walks off, disappearing between the trees. To the north, you see an impressive tree. In the west, you hear rushing water. To the south, you see gray stones. To the east, you hear a quiet rustle. Let's go see the ruins, I guess. Another ruined building, more recent, mostly made of concrete. Rebel punk teen you. Oh man, I just know there were knights here. And do you see that blackened spot? That's Dragonfire. Dragon probably came here looking for the dragon probably came here looking for a princess. Excited preschooler you, wicked. To the north, you hear a quiet rustle. In the west, you hear a quiet rustle. To the east, you see gray stones. Apparently I can't move anywhere south. Let's go east. Another ruin. You don't dare speculate on any fairy tale inhabitants, so maybe we've gone to too many ruins. So to the north, you see an impressive tree. In the west, you hear a quiet rustle. To the south, you don't see anything in particular. To the east, you see gray stones. So yeah, basically, once you get to too many ruins, basically doesn't do anything else. You know, you've been out here for a while. Maybe it's time to head back to the camp. To the north, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. In the west, you notice movement. To the east, you see gray stones. Let's go west. While making your way through the undergrowth, you suddenly hear a rustling sound behind you. Turn around slowly. A large deer is standing right in front of you, sniffing at your clothes. Cynical young adult you, ... Romantic adolescent you. This is definitely the same as before. Cynical young adult you, yes? Offer a berry? You carefully extend your hand, a ripe, juicy berry resting on your palm. Hopeful preteen you, maybe? The deer cocks its head, its nostrils flare once, twice, wait. Rebel punk teen you, yes, wait. Soft, hairy lips graze your palm, a coarse tongue, and suddenly the fruit is gone. Excited preschooler you, wow. The deer looks at you, eyes blinking slowly. Try to pet it. You extend your hand slowly and stroke the deer's neck. The pelt feels coarse, slightly greasy, and entirely wonderful. The deer leans into your touch for a moment, then it turns away and disappears into the bushes. Gain item a profound sense of wonder. Continue. Alright, to the north you hear leaves rustling in the wind. In the west you notice movement. And to the east you see gray stones. A large deer is grazing in a clearing. It pays you no attention. To the north you hear a deep rumbling sound. In the west you see an opening between the trees. To the east you don't see anything in particular. Let's go back to our camp at this point. You return to camp and settle down, taking some weight off of your tired feet. Your mind is filled to the brim with today's experiences. What will you do with them? Do nothing, just sit and ponder, sketch some of the landscape, write a poem. Let's write a poem. You grab your notebook and start writing. Practical adult you. You know what? Today was a pretty good day. Rebel punk teen you. Yeah. Cynical young adult you. You know it actually was. Yeah. And hopeful teen you basically says, and tomorrow we can have another one. Go for it. A gentle breeze flows through the clearing. Somewhere a bird sings. And I guess it basically restarts the game at this point. Romantic adolescent you. It does. So I can hesitate again. Aw, come on. No one good here. You spend a day by the camp. It's quite nice. The fire is warm. Practical out you know. What? Today was a pretty good day. Yeah. You know, it actually was. Not really. Oh. But tomorrow we can try again. Go for it. Alright, so blah blah. We start the game. So I guess it like, you know, it really like resets the map for like stuff you mostly find. Alright, so let's go. We'll try this one more time. You get up and head into the forest. To the north, you hear a deep rumbling sound. To the west, you hear tiny claws scrape on the bark. To the south, you see sunshine reflecting on water. To the east, you hear rushing water. Let's go west then. Something in a nearby tree catches your eye. Take a closer look. Nuts! Excuse me? There's nuts growing on this tree. Lots of nuts. Nice. You pick a handful of nuts. Gain item, a handful of nuts. Continue. To the north, you notice movement. In the west, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. To the south, you notice a large tree. To the east, you hear water tickling over rocks. Let's go east. A small, clear stream of water runs through the forest. Let's take a sip this time. You drink the cold, refreshing water. It tastes better than anything you've drank before. So gain item, a sense of refreshment. Continue. To the north, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. In the west, you notice a large tree. To the south, you see nothing in particular. To the east, you see the sun shining through the foliage. Let's go south. As you walk through the trees, a squirrel jumps from a tree and starts scrambling up your trousers. Hopeful preteen you, romantic adolescent you, rebel punk teen you, cute, cute, cute. Practical adult you. It seems to be going for the pocket where you put those nuts. Offer up some nuts. The squirrel scampers up your wrist and starts gathering the nuts. Excited preschooler you. Cute. Having stuffed its mouth with nuts, the squirrel jumps off and disappears between the trees. Gain item, a squirrely encounter. To the north, you notice a large tree. In the west, you smell fresh grass. To the south, you see sunshine reflected on water. To the east, you see an opening between the trees. Let's go south. So basically, it's just, this again. Let's splash your face this time. Cold. You shiver a deep shiver that seems to reach all the way down, way into your bones. Gain item, a cold sensation. Continue. To the north, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. In the west, you hear rushing water. To the east, you hear water tinkling over rocks. So I guess like this, like south we're going to go. So let's go north. After a short walk, you come across an impressive tree. Can we climb it? It looks sturdy enough. Climb it, sure. We've already seen this one, so blah blah. You bask in the view for a moment before you climb back down. That's pretty cool. There's water, which is rushing north. West, we see a ruin. To the south, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. To the east, you hear rushing water. Let's go to the south. Another impressive tree. You want to climb this one as well, right? Can we? Can we? Just don't break your legs. Up we go. You quickly make your way up the tree. Some things you never forget how to do. Now, that's a view. Wow! So we got our awe-inspiring vista. You bask in the view for a moment before climbing back down. Well done, I guess. To the north, you see sunshine reflected on the water. In the west, you see an impressive tree. To the south, you hear leaves rustling on the wind. To the east, you smell fresh grass. Let's go east. Hidden behind the trees, you come upon a secluded meadow. Let's rest a moment. You rest a while, enjoying the warm feeling of the sunshine on your skin. Cynical young adult you. This is quite nice, you know. Gain item. A nice, warm feeling. Lost item. A cold sensation. Okay. To the north, you see sunshine reflected on the water. In the west, you hear leaves rustling in the wind. To the south, you see sunshine reflected in the water. To the east, you hear water tinkling over rocks. Alright, let's go west. Lots of climbable trees around here. Excited preschooler you. Please, sure thing. You quickly make your way up the tree. Some things you'd never forget how to do. Romantic adolescent you. Now that's a view. Excited preschooler you. Wow. Oh, it's Prime Vista again. Alright, you best, blah blah. To the north, you notice a large tree. To the south, you smell fresh grass. To the east, you hear water tinkling over rocks. Let's go north. We've already basically climbed enough trees, but sure thing. So I guess we like, freeze like the magic number basically with stuff here, I guess. When it basically stops. Let's go north. A small clear stream water runs through your forest. Let's move on. We'll take a sip. We got the Catini Claws again. Let's go south to where we see the sunshine, I guess. Alright, so that's basically in our meadow. Let's rest a moment again. You rest a while, enjoying a warm feeling on the sunshine on your skin. That's quite nice, Practical out you. You've been out here for a while. Maybe it's time to head back to camp. Blah, blah. Let's go back to camp, I guess. There might be something if you go long enough, but do I have time? I want to do that, I guess. I might do another run. We'll see. You return to camp and settle down, taking your weight off of your tired feet. Your mind is filled to the brim with today's experiences. What will you do with them? Let's sketch some of the landscape. You grab your sketchbook and start drawing. You know what? Today was a pretty good day, yeah. It actually was, yeah. And tomorrow we can do another one. Go for it. Alright, we're just gonna play really fast at this point because I basically want to see if I can what happens if we basically go nuts for a while. Alright, let's see here. Let's go. What's this deep rumbling sound? Is that like water? You follow the sounds until you come across an impressive waterfall. Oh yes. Let's go find our quartz. Oh, we got mica this time. So I guess it's different each time, the type of rock you basically find. So continue. So we got meadow, we got Clyde Russell. Probably a deer to the east. Let's go north. Something in a nearby tree catches your eye. Take a closer look. And we got nuts again. Excuse me. So he's collected some nuts. Alright, to north we got rushing water again. In the west you notice movement. To the south, you don't see anything in particular. To the east, you hear quiet rustle. Let's go south. You carefully make your way through a particular, we have found a deer basically, so all of the deer will like nuts. Let's stay. Got a remarkable encounter. Let's go east. Find some more rocks. So, cynical young owl you, please don't do. You carefully make your way behind the waterfall, drop it splashing over your feet. You don't find any treasure, but there's a pretty pebble in the ground. Flint, probably. Let's see here. West, nothing in particular. South, and tree. To the east, you see an opening between the trees. Let's go east. Alright, got secluded menu again. We'll rest a moment. Alright, we got ourselves to the west, a deep rumbling sound. Let's go west. Got our flint. To the north, I spot some sort of building. In the west, you spot some kind of building. To the south, you smell fresh grass. Let's go south. So we got ourselves in our meadow here. Let's move on. Let's go through ruins, I guess. Go north. So another ruin, bigger this time, but the remnants of what could have been a collapsed tower. Nature has started to reclaim it. Most of the stone is covered in brambles. There's the blackberries again. Let's move on. Let's go west. You come across a trail through down a grove. Someone or something has been walking on it recently. Let's follow the trail. There's the deer from before. Let's go west. Turn around slowly. Try to pet it. Maybe. So I was really like to touch without giving it like anything, I guess. Nope, we're gonna keep on going. So let's go west. Let's go south. Let's go north. Take a sip. Let's go south. Because the deer pays me no attention at this point because it doesn't really care. Let's go north. Dude. More flint. Lots of flint apparently being found here. Let's go west. You see a large deer head. It looks at you briefly before disappearing into the forest. Let's go west. Let's do more flint. At some point, just say it's not worth it. We've done enough rather than giving us flint constantly, but whatever. Let's go south. Let's go south. Our meadow. Let's go south. Cold? We were warm, but I guess it didn't get rid of the cold sensation, but whatever. So we'll go south. Let's go south. I don't see anything happen by way about being out here long, so I wonder if it's going to basically trigger at some point you really should go back or something from the practical adult, but whatever. Yeah, look at it. I finally got something different. Garnet. So it's got flint a lot because the flint is probably just very common, I guess. Let's go north. Let's rest a moment. Whoops, I got rid of the cold sensation already. Oh, there goes the Colson Station again. Let's go east. Let's go east again. Move on. A nagging sense of disappointment, apparently. Let's go east. Let's brush it off. As you try to brush off the squirrel, it grips your wrist and hangs on. Shake it off. With a firm flick, you shake off the squirrel. It looks at you indignantly and scampers off. Ah, a squirrely encounter. Another impressive tree. I didn't climb the last one, but okay. More disappointment. Not now. East is some sort of building. Alright, let's just go back to camp at this point. You turn to camp and settle down, taking some weight off your tired feet. Your mind is filled with the brim of these experiences. What will you do today? Do nothing to sit and ponder. You sit back contently. You know what? Today was a pretty good day. Yeah, you know, it actually was. Not really. Oh, but tomorrow I can try again. Go for it if you want. Alright, well, I think it's basically enough to sort of like, you know, show off the idea of like the game. Now I have to wonder basically if like, you know, it sort of satisfies like, you know, what a really traditional roguelike basically is. Like this is like, you know, like similar to like, you know, this is like sort of similar to like the idea of like with Gyarados where like, you know, it doesn't really feel like a traditional roguelike, even though it does match like, you know, all the things right here. And I'll note like, you know, technically it has a sense of like, you know, you can't fail because you can like fail to basically get stuff, but it doesn't really feel like you're failing because it's like, you know, you're never actually dying. It's like you complete your run and then like, you know, you go again, so to speak. So it's like another like case where like I feel like, you know, it's not really traditional roguelike that's a throw out there. Anyhow, let's just get to like, you know, our stuff here. So we're just gonna go here. And you are number 7. So a forest, completeness. I'm going to put a 4 here for starting, but no bugs. Did not notice any bugs. Game did not crash. I mean, game was self-explanatory to play. Not much more to say. I'm always tempted to give you a 5 because, like, you know, it certainly does feel complete. Like, you know, quite complete, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I guess like missing elements like, you know, like inventory, like you have an inventory obviously there and it's like, you know, missing any sort of danger. Like, I'll note basically says, like, you know, here, even though this is a non-violent game, there's a bit of something like comment included to stay true to the Rogue legacy. I didn't find it, but whatever. I guess. Alright, aesthetic-wise. entirely mouse based. I think it's like the best thing to basically say about your game right there. Like, for most part, it did its job, like, you know, well enough for, like, you know, navigating around, understanding what basically everything is. The only real issue I basically had was, like, you know, I couldn't really, like, you know, understand, like, what's the waterfall, like, you know, on the map versus, like, you know, what's the river. I could guess, because, like, you know, waterfalls seem to be, like, alone and not, like, next to rivers, but unless you had, like, had the description. Fun. I can't really say this was fun because, oh, let's see here. As you basically say, it's like, you know, a walking simulator, right? So I'll note that's like the thing, right? It's like, it's a walking simulator. It's not really like I'm going into a dungeon or like going around, like, you know, exploring the wilderness, like, you know, having interesting combat sort of ideas, right? So, what do I want to say this? I'm not attempting to survive. Like, there's no real goals. I'll note, by the way, like, if this is basically enters like a Cinderella, I mean, this would be one of those games that, like, you know, would probably be like losing a lot of score for, like, you know, roguelikeness, because it's really starting to get off, like, you know, from the beaten path from what a roguelike basically is. Not exactly. This isn't a format that is commonly used for roguelikes. I think it basically says it well enough. I have actually seen, like, you know, some scenarios like this where they basically don't really do anything. Passing the Blunt was basically a Cinderella basically played, like, you know, a while ago. Like Rogue Cornus or something like that. I can't remember what the name basically is. But it's like, it's one of these games where, like, you know, there's no active feelings thing, right? So, I mean, you clearly put effort into it, but this is definitely where, like, effort went into it, but at the very least. That's the thing, like, you need a goal. I think that basically sums it up, by the way. Like, you need some sort of goal. You know, I'm always tempted to say this, but this is really the first one where I say, this really isn't a roguelike. Like, I'll note that basically you have, like, procedural generation. You have, like, you know, runs basically ending, but it doesn't feel like you can basically die. Like, it doesn't feel like, you know, there's any, like, you know, any, like, you know, permanent consequence. Like, you know, yes, you can roll back. Like, you can't roll back to, like, you know, try a different outcome, but it doesn't seem like there's any meaningful permanent consequences. Like, that's the thing, right? It's hard to really call this a roguelike. So I wonder how I'm basically going to rate this when I basically have like a no here, but you know, whatever. Let's put that right there. I think that's basically the thing, right? It lacks any meaningful gameplay mechanisms that the players to brush up against and deal with. What can I say about in-game review here? So non-violence is fine, but there has to be some extravagance. You need to have some sort of goal or purpose, perhaps, or some threat to survive. I will kill you. You run. This also sort of lacks immersion, by the way, as well, because there's nothing really to basically connect with. Like, sort of the same thing with, like, JR, like, you know, it's kind of hard to basically connect with, like, the character. Like that might seem like odd to basically hear when you talk about like ASCII roguelikes where like you're connecting with an @ sign, but I kind of felt like with say like an @ sign like a traditional roguelike that like I can basically feel like the actions like the course in life basically falling from your really veins to basically fight something, whereas here it's like it's like you're just randomly like running around like reading stuff. Well, definitely not like the one of higher marked ones obviously, but it wasn't a terrible game. It just didn't really feel roguelike is the thing, right? Like this sort of format might work quite well if you basically have like say like a sort of like violent type of game, where like say like perhaps you're basically trying to like deal with like a fox that's chasing like your pigeons or your chickens or something like that as a farmer, and you're basically exploring around trying to like to find a fox or bear or whatever things that you deal with. They can kill you and then that's the end of your run. But whatever, that's it for this like review. The last two, I guess, were a little bit less like traditional, but whatever. We had some traditional rogues from like this jam thus far, so at least there's that. So take care all.